Hey traders, Mike Katz here with 7 Points Capital. Good to be back. Thanks for tuning in. And today we had a doji day on the SPYs, less than a $2 range, but there was decent action. We had a pretty big up day yesterday, and today we just took a breather, kind of a doji, not a whole lot of volume. Actually decent volume considering the size of this body. And then we'll see if we just hold sideways and go up again. But we are pretty much near all-time highs, and looks like we pulled back, and now we might be setting up for higher highs again. So coming into today, my thinking was I'd like to see if there are any symbols that are strong. So before we get to any symbols, I just go over a little bit of my SPY trades, and this was my second worst symbol today on the spiders. Started on the long side, got stopped out pretty quickly, went short on the break, and made a little bit on the short side, but then eventually it curled up, so I closed it out here, and this was also a loss. So this were about 2 losers in a row. And then here, towards the end of the day, I saw a 5-minute anomaly, quick little scalp that helped get some of the P&L back. So you guys could see the 5-minute anomaly here, and topping tail on more volume than previous bar. In case you guys don't know what I refer to when I say anomaly, you could see big green bar, and then a small topping tail and a small body with higher volume. So there's a little dot here telling me it's an anomaly. Take notice, and I got short there, so that was pretty good. But SPY finished red on the day as far as my P&L. And then, so coming into today, I thought the market's going to be strong, and let me see if there's anything that's acting well. And one of the symbols that hit my radar was Square. Look at Square coming into today. Yesterday's action closed really strong, all-time highs. Already took out all-time highs, even though the spiders just started curling up. So it looked to me like there was going to be some strength here. So I ended up losing on this symbol. And let's see, the morning dump was pretty tough. And these are my executions. Looking for a higher low potentially here versus, oh yeah, so this was like a starter, 91. Get some size near 90, but then it got stopped out. Looked like it was curling back up, basing, put some on, stopped out again right here, and then eventually, you could see one more time, tried it here and here, and then eventually I bought it and held, and I'm taking this one home. So we'll see. I mean, I thought maybe this could go to 100 over the next few days, considering how strong it's been, but it's been tough. The morning chopped me up pretty good, and then it just did a whole lot of nothing and sideways the rest of the day. But closed a couple of points in the money, about a point or so. So we'll see if this turns into a bigger trade. So that was Square. And what else? Well, I gotta say, AMD has just been an absolute monster. Unbelievable. It's just, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just really strong. There's definite buying going on here. We did 200 million shares today, and it had a $3 range. That's a 10% range on the day with 200 million shares traded. And that's just unbelievable because liquidity's there. You could do size, and you get, a lot of times when something trades 200 million shares, you don't get these crazy ranges. And AMD has just been phenomenal from that point of view. But it works both ways. When it moves as much as it does, it could hurt. Or, if we cut losses and let the winners run, we should be okay. And today I was able to do that. I was able to make a couple of bucks. Early on, I was, trading. I bought some, stopped out, shorted some, covered, shorted some more. You guys could see it, a short cover. And then here I got stopped out as short. Did some covering down here, and then right there, Stopped out of short because it was going up. One of the reasons I also stopped out of short was this anomaly down here on the 5-minute. As you could see, pretty good doji and on volume, right? So when I saw that, when I saw these bottoming tails, I was done with it on the short side, right around here. So I had this doji in mind, and then this bottoming tail, and then it took off, cleared VWAP, and we know how the stock has been just straight up. So I'm very careful on the short side in this, or I should be. But then it was just a matter of finding a long setup, and we got one. And a lot of times I get these questions, hey Mike, do you trade midday? Do you like the midday lull, or do you take off? And my answer is, most of the time there isn't a whole lot going on, but sometimes I do get one of these setups where I can get really good risk reward, tight consolidations that lets me put on some pretty good size considering the potential move that I could get. And that's exactly what happened here. So when I got in here, I think it was, well, first of all, we had the big pop, cleared the morning highs, and then flagged sideways, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a lot of sideways, but pretty defined range, about, I think it was about 30-20 and then 30-50, so about 30-cent range. And then down at the bottom of the range, I bought some, risking about 10-15 cents below here, and that allowed me to put on some pretty good size because my stop was so close. And I ended up thinking, let me take off some here. Took off a little bit less than half here, because if it was going to come back, I'd like to be able to buy it back and trade around a core. But this thing just started taking off, and then it just really paid me really nicely. Obviously, I could have done a whole lot better. I could have probably made my month if I just sat on my hands and didn't do any selling, any scaling out, and let this thing work. Wow, I could have probably made my whole month in this one trade. But it's easy to say it after the fact. When we're trading these names, it's not easy. This has not been an easy name, and I feel like I did really well with this, considering how tough it's been. But scaled out of it on the way up, and then it got parabolic. So when it got parabolic, I tried it on the short side a little bit, right here, this area. So let me bring up my trusty chart here. There we go. Bam. And right here. So this thing got really parabolic, and what I want to see at the end of the parabolic move is a lot of volume coming in, right? And that's what I saw here. So I started nibbling on the short side. I think I got my last piece right here, and then started trading this on the short side. Let's see, yeah, so I sold my last piece there on the parabolic push, and then when it came back down, I put a feeler on, shorted some more, and then nice, got that lower high, and bam, really good wash, locked a little bit in. And usually when I see this, that's all she wrote for these names, right? When you get a really big parabolic move like that, and then you get that big lower high, and then that big stuff, bam, right there on volume. That's it. That's usually the end of the move. But not with AMD, not recently, not with the way it's been behaving. So at this point, I was in the money a lot, right? Because I got a really good fill here near 32, risking another 10 cents above the figure. So I got really good size here, and I covered half into this drop, and I'm in the money by a lot. I'm in the money by like 5-6 R's here, and I'm shooting for a pullback down to 31 or 30.50. 31's right there, 30.50 down here where we broke out from, and it's just one of these things where AMD just doesn't want to cooperate right now on anything on the short side. So I ended up, giving back these gains on the short side, and then just getting back to the long side again, and made some money on the long side again, but overall it was pretty good. So closing strong. I don't know what the deal is It's 32 bucks right now. Probably going to get some activists at some point saying they accumulated a shit ton of shares in this, and who knows? I mean, there's just, you could see the buying on the tape. You could see the soaking on the bid, and you could see that every time you get a short setup, these things don't work. So the shorts are pretty twisted in this, I'm sure. And who knows? One day what's going to happen is we're probably going to get a $5 crack in this one shot. When everybody gives up on the short side and the longs finally chase, that's when we're going to get that $5 drop, one shot. $10 drop, who knows? It'll be big. But until then, just got to really be careful on the short side. And I've been making money on the long side, so I'm going to try to stick with that. But daily, I'll evaluate what's going on, and I'll see how I want to behave. It's a lot of just reading what's going on. All right, moving on. So that's AMD. NIO, we had that IPO today, the Chinese electric car company. This one acted really well. The desk did pretty good in this. Low price stock. A lot of the big bankers are involved. Goldman, JP, Morgan, all those big guys. So there's definitely a lot of support in this. And it's a pretty anticipated IPO. And I forgot about this one, but you know, the beauty of trading on the desk is that people around you will definitely point out things to you. And sometimes you don't want to hear anybody, but for the most part, I find it helpful. It's more eyes looking at names and more ideas. And I was able to get into this one because a few people, you know, Joe and Shank and a few others mentioned this. What am I doing with NIO? I hadn't done anything there, and then I started looking at it here at around right above $6. And I thought if I could get another dip to 6, I'll buy it. So I didn't get it. So I started feeler size. And, you know, when I start, I like to buy some, sell some, see what's easy to do. And then, bam, we got a nice quick wash to the downside, held $6. I think there was, I don't remember the exact number. It was a big bid here. It was like 500,000 shares, I think, at $6. So that was a good scalp, good scoop up here, buying right above the bid, above the figure. You know, and then just a matter of just trading around the core, sold some into the rip, bought it back, and then got that big capitulation move, big move. And the nice thing with IPOs is that there's nothing to the left, right? So once we're above this opening range here and we clear that like we did here, you know, this doesn't have a whole lot of supply. Who's going to sell this? Insiders can't really sell it. You got that 6-month lockup for the most part. And then nobody's stuck long to sell this. So when you look to the left, there isn't any resistance. So that's why a lot of these IPOs, they'll get that push, they'll get that move to the upside as long as they're not selling off on day 1 and day 2. So this will be on my radar tomorrow. You know, if it goes right to green, if it takes out the high, if it takes out $7, this could get a nice move if the market stays healthy. And if the buyer that was accumulating shares here is still around. So this will be on my radar for tomorrow. It's a really nice name here. You don't have to be perfect. You could see I wasn't really perfect in this, but these trades add up fast. So NIO was good. And SQ we talked about. Yep. And then Apple. Apple presented the new products, the iPhone, the iWatch. We were streaming that live. And personally, I don't like to trade when these events are here. And, you know, anyone can say anything. It didn't look like there was a whole lot of momentum. It looked like a whole lot of sideways chop, taking out highs and failing, taking out lows and failing. Look at that. Takes out a low, goes up. Takes out a high, reverts. Takes out a high, fails. So this wasn't a follow-through type of day for Apple, mostly because people just wanted to listen and see how much they're going to price the new iPhones at, and they've got some pretty hefty prices. We'll see how the market digests that. But my setup here was again a 5-minute anomaly. That's been working pretty well for me lately. Where's that 5-minute? Damn. Okay. So wherever I have dots, it's just a code pointing out these anomalies. And this one here, 220 near low of day, was an anomaly. Why was it an anomaly? This was a smaller bar than the previous bar and had more volume. Pretty good tail at support. I had a hard number like 220. So I bought it. Added as it worked, and then tried to see if it wants to get back up to highs. It didn't have that much strength, so when it failed at 222, I got out. And so I had one trade in it, but it was good. Nice tight setup, low risk in the sense of, I wasn't risking a lot of cents, so I could put on some good size there. And, when you're risking, let's see, I think I was risking about 40 cents on this trade. You make $2, it adds up. It's nice. So that was a 4 or 5 hour trade, and you don't need a lot of these. So decent action, market curling up, and it looks like volatility's kind of here. It's here, and I haven't seen too many low floats in action, so I've been focusing on the bigger cap names, and that's been okay. So hopefully we get some more action. Oh, TLRY, I had one trade in TLRY. Again, big gap up above 100, almost 20 million shares traded. It closes like a doji. I don't know. It's just squeezing the shorts, but I'm starting to think, who's really short? It's very difficult to get a borrow. I called around today. It was 500% annualized to get a locate on this. 500%. That comes out to about $1.40, $1.50 a day to trade this thing per share. So I hear, Twitter sphere, everybody's talking about the shorts getting killed and crowded shorts, but I don't know. It doesn't really make sense because it's hard to get a borrow, and it's really expensive if you're going to borrow it. So I don't know how crowded it really is. So I want to keep this on radar next few days. There's definitely a lot of action here. I had one trade in it, TLRY. So basically, I bought here also because of an anomaly, added on the breakout, and then failed. And I think I lost half an hour. Break even on this. I lost a little bit on this ad. Never went. Again, looks like a chop, doji day on the daily, but it just keeps creeping up. So I'm going to watch it. Good action here, including Cron and CGC. Let's see. I know Citron came out again on these guys. They must be in really bad shape if they keep on coming out with hit pieces on TLRY, and they're saying the higher goes, the more they'll short. Hopefully they're right, but it hasn't been an easy trade. I think a lot of our traders also haven't had an easy time with these pot names because you're not seeing the intraday follow through, and you do get these spikes on the hit piece or on some news. So they haven't been the easiest to trade. So lately we've been kind of staying away from them. You can see I had one trade in today, but I'm going to keep it on radar as secondary plays if and when I see good setups. And that's pretty much it. I want to thank you guys for watching. Mike Katz, 7 Points Capital, with today's Trader Takeaways.